Hey there, Sank, everybody. Welcome back for another amazing episode of the Marhaba Crypto Show presented by Marhaba DeFi. Today, we have Moby with me. But before we get started, Moby, how's the world? What's going on? How's your crypto? How are the kangaroos in Australia?
Yeah, kangaroos are doing okay. Crypto's kind of so right now. It's definitely a very interesting market. People don't know whether we're in a bear market or a bull market, what to do. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in my section. But yeah, other than that, man, alhamdulillah, very well. What about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Alhamdulillah, enjoying my time here in Jeddah. Reviving my spiritual aspect and working pretty much all day long. So doing good, man, doing good. Today we got a huge show, Moby, a huge show. So I'm gonna start off actually with my portion with updates on Marhaba DeFi, and then we're gonna do go to Moby's legendary market updates. And today, honestly, I'm really looking forward to your update because I know you were telling me about some hot picks and stuff like that. So I'm interested. And I don't know if you guys have noticed. I think Moby deserves a round of applause
Oh, stop,
for
man.
his
You do this every week.
for his.
It's starting
No,
to get
I'm telling you,
embarrassing.
'cause- no, no, it would, it would be a lie if people genuinely weren't benefiting from it. So, like SolChicks went up like crazy, and your Solana, all this. It's not financial advice, but you led people to the right place, and that's the real thing here. So thank you, I appreciate it, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Because honestly, I've benefited from your because I don't have the time to research, but sometimes you tell me certain things, and I'm like, okay, Moby said this. I take a note while you're talking about it, and then I go and research it. So cool, thank you. So let's get this thing started. To what's going on with Marhaba DeFi. Gonna keep it straight, and today talk about too many things, just about a few things, and honestly, the big things. I don't know if you guys have checked out our social media, but we have partnered up with Masary Capital. So I'm gonna share my screen here and show you guys a little bit about what Masary Capital is. So here, Moby, can you see my screen?
We can see your screen. Yes, we can.
Fantastic. So this is a strategic partnership between Masary Capital and Marhaba DeFi. You guys can see here, this is our logos. So Marhaba DeFi plans to launch in the UAE with their local partner Masary Capital to offer the world's first ethical Islamic DeFi product in UAE. So this is huge. When you read into what Masari is working on, and they're gonna use us to be powered, if they're gonna use our DeFi solution to power their work, it's a huge, huge, huge engagement. So I'm gonna recommend everybody just read about Masari Capital, read about what they're doing and their future long-term plan, and how Marhaba DeFi is in line with that plan. Okay, now this is about the big, big news about our partnership. What's happening on with Marhaba DeFi? We are currently in IDO hype moment. IDO is happening. We're on December 22. We're going to be having our IDO on two platforms. One is ZeeDO and the other is DODO. DODO is a fully decentralized exchange. They are like, you have to go onto their exchange, make an account, link your wallet, and then buy. But before that, you have to fill out this whitelist, which is right here. Pretty simple. I'm gonna go back to zero, by the way, but just to kind of go over Dodo's whitelist and what to do. So pretty much, you join the Telegram page, you follow the Twitter, then you retweet the IDO tweets, and then you come here and you just fill out this form. And after that, somebody will contact you with all the details as to what is going on with the IDO. And at the same time, if you just want to go directly to the after you fill out the white paper, you go directly to their step-by-step guide. You can read about what are the requirements, what is being done, what times, all these details. So everything is here for you to look into, to read into, and actually be a participant in this IDO on Dodo. Dodo is one of the better known exchanges. And then here we got ZeeDO. ZeeDO is the fully decentralized DEX IDO launchpad for zero swap. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about zero swap, and zero swap is huge. So again, you can pretty much go on our Twitter, click on the link within the tweet. It's the guide on how to join. Follow the steps. You see steps to participate in token sale on ZeeDO. goes into details about what the actual IDO is and the prices and the times and all that stuff. And pretty much this is another way you can participate. Now, I would recommend to see which one you're more comfortable with, and then participate from that. And because we're selling out quick, we're selling like hotcake. You want to make sure that you get your slot in as soon as possible. Remember, everything is first come first serve basic. But here, I'm gonna quickly stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna just kind of give you guys a little story. And Moby knows about this because Moby's been part of the project for some time, from the beginning, pretty much. We went into our seed round at 1 cent. We went into our pre-public sale round one at 2 cents. Went into pre-public sale round two at 2.5 cents. And if you guys have been part of the project, you guys know that it was on our dashboard. Now we're doing IDO at 4 cents. So people who had invested in seed have already seen technically. I mean, there's a vesting period involved, but technically, if you
Unrealized
if you look
profits,
at,
yeah.
yeah, it's already 4x now. When this is IDO, and then there's a little extra boom for exchange launches, right? So when you go on exchange and you go to public at large, so you're gonna see this opportunity, and it's something that it's something that I think you should really look into and see if it's something that fits for your profile. Another thing very important to understand is, let's just say there's a really good chance that a lot of people will not be able to participate in the IDO due to them not being, missing out because they didn't do the whitelist, or they didn't participate in time, or whatever, right? They just weren't able to do the IDO. We will be listing ourselves on various like decks, like Pancake Swap and other launch pads and launch and exchanges, centralized exchanges. So watch out for that information too. You can go there, you can buy, you can sell, you can do all that stuff. So watch out for, there's more information coming in regards to that. So we're gonna have the IDO on the 22nd December. Then we're gonna be listing on exchanges. We're also gonna be going on dexes like Pancake Swap, so you can connect your Trust wallet, and you can pretty much buy and sell from that. That's the update for the IDO. So minor update also, we are also going to be launching our Souk NFT on the same day, which is the 22nd of December. So big news coming up. It is not something that you want to miss out on. You for sure want to look into it, see if it's something that fits for your portfolio and something that you want to get involved with, and get involved ASAP. Moby, those are kind of my updates, and I want to keep them simple and straight. That IDO is happening. Share with your friends, share with your family. If you've invested, the best thing that you could do, honestly, is let them know. I know people who, I just got a message a few 2 days ago, actually, from a brother who said, "You told me about Marhaba a few months back, and at that time I didn't have the money to even participate. And now, Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me an X amount of dollars, and I went into round two. But that brother knew from seed round, he wanted to get involved, but he just couldn't. So I'm just saying that there's those opportunities that are coming towards you, and see if they work for you. And if you can get involved, you should really do your research and get involved. Moby, your opinion before we go to your market updates.
Oh man, it's exciting. It's really exciting. Like, I think for anyone who's been following the project, it's like it's almost here. It's around the corner. It's really funny too, because it's very normal to, when a new project is launching, it doesn't matter even if it's the caliber of Marhaba, like you have that doubt, you have that risk, because crypto's risky, right? Everything is risky in crypto, nothing we ever sort of say is financial advice. But it's really funny how you were telling me before we started recording that you had people who had actually committed to the 1 cent, 2 cent rounds, but for whatever reason, a percentage of them just didn't pull the trigger. They just didn't pull the trigger. And now, you see these huge pieces of news, and you've kept it really short, but, jump on the Twitter, you can see Ahmed talked about the Masary Capital news. You can see all these other partnerships. You've got Brother Nakib, you've got Brother Khalid. They're at all these events and stuff, big stage events, and you can see all this stuff in the Twitter. Now they're sort of seeing all this, they're like, oh, I want to get in. Now they're kind of FOMOing in.
Yeah.
So FOMOing in is never a good idea. I mean, maybe, but like you said, when projects launch, you have these little bumps, right? So the stage is obviously a natural built-in bumps in price. Then when they launch, you have this bump, and when they list on centralized exchanges, you notice this bump. So
Hmm.
it's not like you've missed out. This thing hasn't even launched yet, so it's still very,
Technically, yeah,
very, very, very early days. But don't get that FOMO. Like Ahmed said, you gotta read the material. You have to read the material. I
yeah,
know no one likes doing this. I know everyone likes watching the movie version than reading the book. But with
yeah,
me, I had my doubts too. 100% I had my doubts. It's like, what is this
yeah,
project, right? But then I read the
yeah,
white paper. I read the light paper. I read the green paper. And even if you just read one of those, the white paper, it will
yeah,
give you the confidence, and you use your logical mind to say, look, there's no guarantees in
yeah.
crypto, but this seems to hit a real world problem. There seem to be very good people behind it. And now I'm
Mhm.
even more
Thank
bullish
you,
after
thank you.
hearing, oh yeah, well, I wasn't, you're not in the white paper, but you're part of it too. But now all these other announcements, make it really, really bullish. So I'll try to contain my
Yeah,
excitement, because I think I could talk about this the rest of the episode. But yeah,
yeah,
spot on. Very, very exciting things indeed.
yeah. And I'm sorry, before I let you do it, I've said this many times before, and I say this. I've said it to my friends. I've said it to my family. We're confident, so we say, look into us. We want you to do your own research. We want you to go and criticize us. There's been brothers that have emailed us and said, "Hey, this on your white paper." No, we want you to do that and
No,
come
yeah,
to us.
like
Yeah,
you know what? Funnily enough, Ahmed, sorry to interrupt you there. People ask me, my
yeah,
friends have asked me, what do you think, should I invest? I'm actually
yeah,
very hesitant with
yeah,
any crypto. Like
yeah,
whether it's when I got into Solana at $30, when I got into AVAX before $50, and they ask me, I say, look, I believe so, but do your research. I 100% agree
yeah,
with you. I'm very, very. I don't want people to take my word for it. I actually
yeah,
don't want them to take my word for it. So I always sort of
yeah,
say, if you're going to invest more than a couple of $100, you watch Netflix all the time. Just take 15 minutes, take 20 minutes, read the documentation. You
yeah,
guys got to kind of get your head around that. But so sorry to interrupt, but I 100% agree with you, Ahmed. Like I always sort of say, don't take our word for it. Don't let that be the decision making criteria. Do your own research, and if it doesn't make sense to you, then don't. That's fine. There's plenty of opportunities in
yeah.
crypto out there.
Yeah. No, I'm like we like this. I'm just saying like we're this confident in the team that we want you to do research because then you'll know what an actual DeFi good project is, right? So Savannah, and you'll learn so much from the white paper. Like if you read the white paper, you're gonna retain so much from it that you're gonna be like it was like worth my time to read that white paper. So Savannah, your update. What's going on, Moby? How's the
Yeah,
market
so
doing?
that's going to be a tough act to follow. But yeah, so I'll get straight into it in terms of the market update. So if I just kind of go onto my screen, guys, you'll recognize this chart. I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin too much, as much as I have in the last couple of episodes, but you'll see sort of here, if I kind of zoom in a little bit onto my screen, I've been sharing this model now, the bullish, neutral, bearish model for probably over a month now. And what's very, very, very clear, you can see that we are definitely in this descending channel right now. We are definitely in a downtrend. No one can argue otherwise. I'd love to come here and tell you we are going to hit 100K by the end of this year. I don't think that's going to happen. And you can see now we've actually broken that bullish zone and we're sitting in neutral territory. So this doesn't do anything for the long-term fundamentals. It doesn't do anything in terms of whether we believe crypto is right or not. But I have been saying for a couple of weeks now that don't be surprised if there is one more decent-sized dip in December. Don't be
Mhm.
surprised. America, they do calendar year financial taxes, right? So tax loss selling is a very real thing. Will there be a bump end of the year, maybe start of the year? It's probably more likely. No one really knows. But it cannot be argued we are not in a descending, very, very clear descending channel right now. But there are definitely signs that we are decoupling a little bit from Bitcoin. Now, what do I mean by that? We've said in the past, Bitcoin moves up 1%, things rally 10, 20, 30%, Bitcoin goes down
Yeah.
5%, things drop 30%. There are signs that we're starting to decouple right now, particularly on layer ones, right? Which honestly, layer ones have been by and large outperforming Bitcoin in this recent dump. AVAX has done this for the second time in a row right now, where they actually went the other way of the market. I'll get into AVAX in a second. But it brings me to possibly my most important point of, my segment today, which is layer ones. Now, layer ones, of course, are Ethereums. You've got, Solana, AVAX, Terra Luna. You need to consider layer ones not as coins, but as technology, right? Technology doesn't have like a seasonality to it by and large, right? Like DeFi being built on it, things that are actually being built on it. Now, of course, the thing about, and I always sort of talk about this, like if you have a bag, not financial advice, me personally, I believe the bigger percentage of your bag, and again, depends on your investment thesis, should be layer ones. Having like if you just wanted to invest in crypto and never really look at it, you could do far worse than just having spot Ethereum, just sort of buying Ethereum, again, not financial advice. But let me kind of go back to sort of AVAX. So AVAX is one that we've been speaking about for a long, long time. I just share my screen. I think probably we spoke about this well over a month and a half ago, and I'm just sharing my screen here. Sahib Shahir gave his kudos. Jazakallah khair, Moby, for the AVAX insight. Was a timely investment. So if you want to be like Shakib and benefit from not financial advice kind of tips, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. Because we're always sort of sharing this stuff with you. We broke this, we broke Solana, we broke a couple of other things. So again, humbly follow this channel and do your own research. But going back to sort of AVAX is just going from strength to strength. Recently, and this is the most bullish thing that no one's really talking about right now with AVAX. I'm on DeFi Llama. You guys know I've spoken about DeFi Llama in the past. And DeFi Llama actually looks at, I always say follow the money. You can do a lot worse than following the money. At least with money and investment, it's not hype per se. Like people are actually investing their dollars using a protocol that is on one of these layer ones to make money, right? Of course, Ethereum has the biggest one. Ethereum at total value locked is $150 billion. Binance is the second. But this actually scared me a little bit the other day, Ahmed. When you look at Solana was number 4 for the longest time. And I remember Solana, and I spoke about this on this show, Solana was $14 billion. AVAX, in the last day, I was doing my show notes yesterday, and Solana was neck and neck with AVAX. Solana was number 4, AVAX was number 5. This morning when I opened up my windows, AVAX has just outpaced Solana in terms of total value locked. There is $11.95 billion invested in AVAX protocols. There's $11.92 billion in Solana. There are 101 protocols on AVAX. There are 40 on Solana. So is AVAX underpriced? I know it's just rallied. I always say don't chase the FOMO, but there is a strong argument that it is. Like right now, if I look at CoinGecko, you look at Solana. Solana has a market cap of, where we got this, $56 billion. It's number 5. You look at AVAX, which has just taken the 9th position. It's 27. So total value locked more than Solana. Value of market cap less than half of Solana. Like this coin does have some room to grow. And, we're not the only ones thinking this. Bank of America recently is impressed by AVAX, Avalanche's subnets. So what Bank of America did, and I read this and I thought this was kind of cute because we've been talking about this for a while now, and Bank of America is now sort of saying to their, so are we better than Bank of America? God knows, right? But if you're here and you're listening, then you got this news before Bank of America was sharing it to their billion-dollar investments. But essentially what this article talks about is they actually talking about the technology. Ethereum developers can quickly build on Avalanche as Solidity works outside of the box. So if you ask me the key difference between AVAX and Solana, it's this. Solana has gone out and created its own country, its own, I guess, language. You've got the Rust language on Solana, whereas AVAX they've taken a slightly different approach. They've actually made it EVM compatible, Ethereum compatible, and it is very easy to port over. So if you're building on Solidity and you've got that kind of sunk cost, AVAX, it's very easy. That's why you've seen it almost feels exponential, the amount of protocols on AVAX compared to Solana, because they didn't need a new language. So, really sort of bullish stuff there. There's another article here, so they're not the only people. A group called BitGo Institutional Investors, they've also recently included AVAX into their suite of holdings and offerings. This all happened in the last week, right? So bang, 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 really bullish stuff. I want to kind of, it's kind of still on AVAX, but I'm sharing my screen now, and I'm showing 4 different protocols, and I've got 2 columns here, and it shows the users and volume. So with Solana, for example, you can see like Radium is the #1 protocol on Solana or project, and it's got 97,000 users and $12 billion locked in. You look at Avalanche, compared to 97,000, you've got 151,000. So with AVAX, with Avalanche, you will notice it's very heavy with Trader Joe. So after Trader Joe, you have 19,000 users. You go from 151 to 19. Whereas Solana has 97,000, 58,000, so on and so forth, right? So really sort of interesting stuff. But you see here too, the 3rd ranked one on AVAX is typically Ethereum based, DeFi, like, Aave. So really sort of interesting stuff here. And you can sort of see that OpenSea used to be the biggest the game in town, with, 57 or $580 million of volume. But you look at Magic Eden, that's 1/5 now. And that's on Solana. You look at Solana, that's also a sized percentage as well. So Ethereum will never really go away. I really don't think Ethereum's going away anytime soon. The notion of Ethereum killers, I think honestly is fad. I don't think it's just very nice to say. It's like nice clickbait stuff. But Ethereum ain't going anywhere. It's too big to fail, But will over time it will lose? Will it be kind of diluted in terms of its power? Yes, absolutely. But the thing is, the world, we are very early in crypto, right? You have stocks that trade bigger, 1 or 2 stocks trade bigger than all of the crypto market cap that's out there. We are really early. Yeah. So when this thing does boom, we are going to need multiple layer ones. So I'm a holder of AVAX, I'm a holder of Solana, I'm a holder of Ethereum. So, all sort of bullish stuff. Your thoughts on that before I continue with the market update, Ahmed?
No, I think Dec, you kind of summarized it. I think what's really interesting, from what you said was seeing how the others are growing shows you that there is a better and a greater understanding of utility, because these 2 are better performers when it comes to utility, and that Ethereum is just a king. It is the first, so that's why it holds power. But the others are growing because of, so that shows me that the market is more understanding now of what's happening around. Obviously, there's gonna be those joke investments, Shiba Inu and all these things are growing like wild, but at the same time, there's good money going towards the right concepts and stuff. So interesting and exciting.
Interesting indeed. So let me quickly talk about entry points, right? Let's talk about, so I've spoken about fundamentals, and a little bit of technicals as well on AVAX, but let's kind of look at the price action. So you can sort of see here, AVAX has been having a really good time, really not showing any signs of slowing down. We passed this level of $87 of resistance. We went right through this $100 of resistance, and it was bouncing off the $100 mark for a little while. And I want you guys to think about this, right? So like when Bitcoin went down, AVAX was still going up around 10%. What's going to happen when Bitcoin comes back? Like, what does AVAX look like when Bitcoin hits all-time high? Like that's crazy to sort of think about. We're at 116 right now for AVAX. There's not much there. If we get past this $120 resistance, which is still below the all-time high, there's not much resistance there until 150, dare I say 250. Again, don't FOMO in, don't get excited by 2-3x's, but I'm sort of saying when you consider everything I've just spoken about in the last week, AVAX is a pretty solid investment. Although me personally, if I was going to add to my bag, and this is only because I already have a bag, I would probably wait until it goes back down to 100, but $100 US, very strong levels of support for AVAX right now. Will it dip with our next sort of dip? I don't know, but we didn't. AVAX didn't dip the last dip we sort of had. Moving on, let me sort of kick it to Solana, right? So Solana, hasn't had a little bit of love lately. Everyone's talking about AVAX. No one wants to talk about Solana anymore. And what's one good thing to focus on? When others are focusing on, the stuff that people aren't focusing on, right? So Solana, still really, really bullish. But if I'm completely honest, it has had some very short-term bearish price action right now. So $160, was support. We kind of bounced off that. We're dancing and playing with $180 right now. But if you were looking for short-term gains, again, Solana is my second biggest holding. I like to DCA in almost every dip I get with Solana. Although if I'm honest, I haven't bought Solana for a little while. I'm really holding my long-term bags. I probably wouldn't get in right now. Personally, I would probably look to, $160 or $140, entry points right now. So Solana definitely is not showing. If you wanted to trade with the momentum, I'd be careful with Solana. And I'm reading my notes from last night. I said I'd be especially careful if AVAX leapfrogs Solana in the world of DeFi, total value locked. And this morning that's already happened. So I would be very cautious with Solana in the next week or so if you're looking for entry points, because I'm not the only one, little old Moby with these very tiny bags looking at DeFi Llama. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely not the only one. People look for these swing momentum, bullish pieces of news, to make decisions. But honestly, Solana, the fundamentals and technicals can be two very, very different things. Case in point, Royal Airness, Michael Jordan, is jumping into Web 3.0 with a Solana-based app. Right, so him and his son, that's very nice for him to do this for his son. Jeffrey Jordan are launching HEIR with a fan engagement platform built on the Solana blockchain. So a lot of platforms and protocols are looking for Solana because even though, yes, gaming has arrived on AVAX, NFTs, actually, to be honest, the NFTs are pretty crap on AVAX. There are some have arrived, but it's not like Solana. Solana has second mover advantage in that regard. But yeah, so really, really sort of bullish signs for Solana right now. Now, I want to sort of move, speaking of Solana, I want to kind of get into, my final component of the show before I sort of end my bit. And that is like sector rotation. I've spoken about sector rotation right now. And one of the sectors that a lot of people are looking at is Metaverse gaming. Right, Metaverse gaming. And again, Ahmed referenced SolChicks earlier. Guys, when I was talking about SolChicks, you could have got in for launch at 5 cents. It launched in the last week and it went to, and honestly guys, if it tanked, I would have told you it tanked and you guys would have seen it for yourself. It went to 40 cents, right? And now it's gone back down to 15 cents. But that means if you had jumped onto SolChicks when we mentioned, you could have at least sort of 3x. And Ahmed and I were talking about this before we started the show. There's two ways, well, there's many ways to get rich, but there's two key ways to get rich in crypto. And one is investing in long-term projects, dollar cost averaging, holding for 4 or 5 years, waiting for a cycle, or getting in at IDOs. Of course, Ahmed just spoke to you about Marhaba and getting into Marhaba's IDO as a potential opportunity, not financial advice. But IDOs, and the ones I've been looking at recently are gaming IDOs, are also some very, very good picks. So, with SolChicks, I mentioned it before, it sort of went back down to about 10 cents or so. It's sitting at about 16.5 cents. It's something I would definitely add to your watch list for sure. Buying on a dip is not a bad idea. We recently did have a dip, although we pumped a little bit. But the other one that I'm looking at, the other sort of tip I want to get you guys across is Sidus Heroes or Sidus Heroes, whatever. Sidus Heroes. I'm sharing my screen right now. Why I like this one, it is a different type of game. It is very, very good quality. They call themselves the first ever WebGL AAA level play to earn NFT RPG. So essentially they're sort of saying this is the first AAA level game that has been developed with really, really good graphics, with really, really good backers. Although I'd say Solana or SolChicks is AAA as well. That's coming to Solana. And that's the thing with Solana. You will find this narrative where gaming tokens are more likely, or games really, are more likely to go to Solana. Because think about it, Ahmed. If I'm like, if I give you a sword in a game, and that's now an NFT, for you to redeem that sword, that's going to cost you $200 worth of gas fees. With Solana, it's almost nothing. So the nature of like NFTs in gaming is more conducive to Solana. And we're already seeing a lot of big titles right now. Now with Sidus Heroes, I always look for shortcuts, right? I like to be, even though I research a lot, I can be very lazy. And one lazy tip is to see who's investing in it. Do they have a track record? So why I'm sharing Sidus Heroes with you guys today is because you've got some very, very big investors like Animoca Brands, and Animoca Brands invested in Sand and a whole bunch of other crap as well. They've got IP rights for Formula One, Disney, WWE, so they've got a lot of money, and you could do a lot worse than looking into Sidus Heroes. And if you have most of your bag in like a layer one, I'm personally looking for like 10% to 15% in gaming / metaverse projects. And these two are definitely on my list, not financial advice. I will sort of say not the entire market does support, this shows you how early we are, right, guys? So I can sit here and talk about how great gaming is, but just be careful. Do realize how early we are. I'm sharing this article by Decrypt where Stalker 2 game cancels its NFT plans after backlash. So these guys were going to incorporate NFTs in their game, but their gaming community gave them so much backlash, they actually sort of backtracked and said, oh, we're not going to do it anymore. Now, I believe the problem with these guys was they didn't actually communicate how they're going to use the NFTs. So if people think you're doing a cash grab for the sake of a cash grab, they're going to treat you like that. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful. But just remember how sort of early we are, not financial advice. Really, I might cut this one a little bit shorter. The last sort of one I really want to talk about, the last good performer is Luna right now. So if you kind of look at Luna and AVAX, they seem to be moving together right now. They seem to be doing quite bullish right now. And the thing about Luna, again, you have to look into Luna. Like, you have to look into why a coin does really, really well. Terra Luna uses its Luna coin to maintain the price stability of its stablecoin, USDT. And right now, stablecoins are in demand. So in increased volatility scenarios, you are going to find something like Luna do pretty well because they're the ones who sort of back and they maintain the stability of their stablecoin, which is algorithmic and it's unlike anything else. So we're seeing a lot of good support right now. Not financial advice. I would definitely wait for a dip, but it's something that's quite interesting. Actually, I do want to share one last thing with you, Ahmed. I think this is really, really interesting because, guys, you know this. If you're listening to this, you know there's real world application, but it's nice to remind ourselves that yes, we are making the right decision with our money as in a sector. Chanlink and AccuWeather to bring world-class weather data to blockchain. So I'm sure you guys have heard of AccuWeather apps and like weather companies, well, weather center, whatever you want to call it. But they're using Chainlink, which is like a data oracle provider for their own data as well. So another example of a real-world thing that needs data using Chainlink, using something crypto-based to, I guess, substantiate their data and just to make their data more robust and accurate. So yeah, on that note, guys, thank you so much, Ahmed. Thanks for your sort of patience there. Would love to hear your comments. I've got a lot more. I've actually got a couple more that I didn't have time to share with you guys this week that we will share next week. But that's the market update for the week.
It's been phenomenal. While you were talking, I have some of my investments in some of the things that you said. I was like, interesting. I was thinking because, okay, by the way, if anybody's from Canada and from Ontario in Canada, you guys have to take your cryptos off of Binance before the 30th. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I was thinking about selling it and then making USDT and then sending it to my Trust wallet or doing something else with it. But now I'm just thinking maybe I'll just directly send it to my other wallets as the token because why sell it when I think I'll do something good soon. So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna rewatch it once or twice again just to get some of the points that you were saying because like there's some analytical stuff that you're saying about certain things, and I think I want to re-listen to it before I make certain decisions. I'll look into the NFT project. That seems pretty interesting. The
Sidus
first
Heroes.
triple, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
It
what
seems
they say, but it's legit. It looks really good. The graphics are great. NFT-based gaming. So you can
yeah,
invest in the NFT, which, to be honest, I'm kind of cooling my jets on NFTs. I know you were asking about this before. I'm looking at
yeah,
HyperBeast, but I've been done with NFTs for a while. But you don't need to invest in the NFT to invest in the token. But yeah, really interesting stuff.
yeah. I'm not a gamer. Man, we bought PS2 and just left
And
it.
neither am I,
Never
you
looked.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm gonna, if I look into, I'm probably just look into it from an investment perspective. But I do know that there's a huge portion of the globe that is a gamer, And so why not? See, this is the whole concept of opportunity, right? Understanding where opportunity lies and you look into it. Fantastic. That's my 2 cents. Maybe any last bit before we wrap up the show? I have a
No, no,
surprise.
but no, yes, no. I am. I'm keen for the surprise. I know what the surprise is about. But no, that's it, man. That's all for me.
Yeah, don't get too excited. I'm still single, so there's no surprises in that manner. Um, so guys, this is conditional. Okay, we will show you what this is if this video gets at least 200 likes. Okay, look at that right there. This velvet feel. Oh my! I don't know if you can hear that, but
We can't
subhanallah,
hear
the feeling is
Velvet.
amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't really hear it. I'm gonna look at it, but if you want to look what's in here, you gotta give us 200 likes. Sorry, 100 likes at least on this video, and yeah, because this we're getting good views, man. We're getting like 400, 500 views per video, but
So
where are the likes?
so make that clear. So if we get 100 likes, you can give it away to someone who drops a comment or something.
You know what? Fine, let's do that.
Because otherwise,
Uh,
well, otherwise, why mention the 100 likes? Like there has to be some incentive.
okay, fine. That's fair. I'll have to get a verdict on that, but I think I can do that. So if we get 100 likes, and you comment, and your comment is the comment that gets selected, we'll contact you. Obviously, we'll have to find out your email and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to somehow get your contact. We'll contact you, and we'll figure out how we can get you this. But if you want to see this, what it is, something beautiful, gotta get us 100 likes on the video, this video, inshallah. Sounds good, Moby?
Sounds great.
Your eyewitness? Okay, fantastic. Now, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Share, like, subscribe, like to see what's going on here. Share this with your friends because we talked about some really cool things. IDO, let's share this with your friends and let them see that there's an IDO happening. Because listen, if you help somebody out and they see that there's benefit in the project, and truly there is, they're gonna love you forever. So share, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you guys get notifications every time we post a video. And take care of yourself and your family. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.